Hi, I'm Jason, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to run an operating system directly from a USB flash drive. You might wonder why you would want to do this, but let's just say somebody asked me if it could be done because of whatever reason, and I said yes, indeed it can be done. Maybe one of the reasons you might want to try this is to try out various operating systems on your PC or laptop without affecting your current hard disk. So before we start, there are a few things to mention. Firstly, you'll need a flash drive or a USB hard disk with enough space to fit whatever operating system you want to install, and a bootable DVD or an ISO image of Windows Vista 7, 8 or whatever you want to install. In this demonstration I'm going to be using a 16 gig USB stick, and I'll be installing Windows 7 32-bit. A word of warning though, running an operating system from a USB 2 flash drive is going to be slow, and for some of you it could possibly burn it out. It hasn't happened to me yet, but I thought I would just mention it. USB 3 would be the best way to go, and I will do another video using USB 3 once I get a USB 3 flash drive and a computer that is compatible with it. Okay, moving on, you'll need to download some tools. If you only have an ISO image of your operating system, then I would suggest downloading a program called Daemon Tools Lite from this website. And you can use this program to mount your image in a virtual drive. If you're using a bootable DVD of the operating system, then don't worry about downloading Daemon Tools because you won't need it. You'll also need an application called NT6 Fast Installer, which you can download from here. And you'll also need the GetWaikTools.zip file from here. And lastly, you'll need the RMPrep USB tool to format and prepare your USB flash drive, and you can get that from this website. Don't worry if you missed all of that, I'll add it into the description below this video. So the first thing we need to do is prepare our USB stick. So I've already got my USB stick plugged into my PC, which you can see here. So I'm going to extract my RMPrep tool. Let's just extract the files here. And if I go into the folder, let's just run the program. I'm going to select English, next, install. So just go with the defaults, and that's completed. So let's close and we'll run it. So when it's running, you should be able to see your flash drive here if you've plugged it into your PC. In option 3 here, we need to make sure that WinPE is selected with the radio button. In section 4, we need to make sure that we check NTFS as the file system and boot as hard disk drive. And that's pretty much it. As long as everything matches what I've got on my screen here, we can just go down to section 6 and click prepare drive. And I'm going to say OK. And it's warning me, am I OK to erase all the data on this drive? Well, this drive was empty anyway, so I'm going to say yes. Now this may take a few minutes to happen, but be patient. It will eventually disappear and you know it's been done. I'm now going to unzip or extract my NT6 Fast Installer zip file. So let's right click, extract the files, and we'll just extract the files. And here is my NT6 Fast Installer download. I'm going to open up my C drive, and I'm just going to copy that in there. Or should I say, let's move it in there. We'll come back to this a bit later. I now need to get the 3 files from my Windows Automated Installation Kit. But rather than downloading and installing this massive program, you should have downloaded the GetWaikTools zip file earlier. This is a clever little program that will pull out only the files I need from the internet. So let's extract it. And we'll run it. And I would suggest or recommend that we just download the GetWaikTools for Windows 8. So let's click download, and we'll just download it to our desktop. And here they are. Now if you're installing a 64-bit operating system, the files that you're going to need are going to be in AMD 64. If you're using 32-bit, as I am going to be installing, I'll be getting my files from x86. But basically the files that you're looking for are just 3 files. One is called bcd boot, one is called imagex.exe, and one is called bootsect.exe. So let's highlight all 3 of those. I'm going to right click and say copy. And remember my NT6 Fast installer that I placed under my C drive. I'm going to open that folder and I'm going to paste them directly inside it. So here we are back in our NT6 Fast installer folder, and now I can right click on installer.cmd and I'm going to run as administrator. And you should then get a green screen like this. And what you're going to need to do is hit enter and then enter again. Now with your operating system DVD in your CD-ROM or DVD drive or your mounted image, you'll need to find the install.wim file located within the sources folder. So I'm going to navigate to my CD-ROM drive and we'll open it, and there is my sources folder and there is my install.wim, and if I double click this, it presents me with a list of different editions from within the WIM file that I've just selected. But remember, whatever edition you do select, you are going to need the key that matches it. So I'm going to use Windows 7 Professional, which is option 4, and press enter. Now you'll be asked to select the target USB drive that you want to install the operating system onto. Let's just double check what my USB drive letter is, and it's H. So I need to type in here H and enter. If the USB drive has files on it, then the script will try to format it for you, and you'll need to enter the volume name to confirm this. So let's type H again, and then you'll be asked if this disk is a USB disk. So yes it is. I'm going to say yes. And unless you're using Vista or Server 2008 DVD, you'll be asked what drive letter you want Windows to use when it boots from the USB drive. Use the default by hitting enter. The final summary screen shows the source of your WIM file, which is my DVD, the target drive letter and the boot partition, which should be my USB drive, which is H, USB hard drive yes, and the final drive letter should be C. Bear in mind, yours could look slightly different to this depending on the amount of disks that you initially have in your computer or laptop. So all we need to do now is hit enter and wait a very long time, possibly 2.5 to 3 hours. Bear in mind, and working out from this table, the installation process should take no longer than 10 minutes if you use USB 3. When the installation has finished, we can hit any key to exit. But notice here that the total time elapsed is 84 minutes and 50 seconds, and that was to install Windows 7 32-bit on a 16 gig flash drive. I tried this yesterday on a 64 gig flash drive using Windows 7 64-bit, and it took 2 hours and 50 minutes to complete. So once this is done, I can now click or press any key and we'll exit. And down here I am going to release my flash drive safely by right clicking and saying eject mass storage device, and now I can take that out of the system. So the next thing to do is to take this to another PC. It can be any PC you want, because what's actually happened is we've used something in this process called sysprep, which is prepared this operating system to be a brand new install on anything that we plug it into. So let's go over to one of my laptops and I'll plug it in and we'll see what happens. So here we are on my spare laptop, and you'll have to excuse the poor quality of the video because I'm just using a Handycam at the moment. This is the USB stick that we've just made, 16 gig flash drive. I'm going to put that in the spare USB port on the laptop here and switch the laptop on. Now what you need to remember is that once you've booted the image on one system, it will probably crash if you try and boot it on a different system, because the correct drivers will already have been installed on the previous boot. So as we can see, the system is booting up nicely. It is going to take a long time. Like I said yesterday, I did Windows 7 64-bit, and even though it took 2.5 hours to prepare the flash drive, it then took a further 8 hours to get the system up and running. I don't expect Windows 7 32-bit to take quite as long, but I do expect it to take at least 4 hours for me to install it this way. That's why if you are going to attempt this, you need all the patience in the world, or better still, do it the USB 3 way. So once your Windows 7 is running, you'll need to add the correct third-party drivers to get all the hardware working correctly, just like you would if you were reinstalling your PC. To speed up the Windows installation, once booted from the USB drive in Windows, go to your device manager and select Disk Drive and double-click it and select the Policies tab and enable the Better Performance, the one with Enable Write Caching option. I hope you found this tutorial useful as much as I have found it interesting, and if you want me to, later on I will do the USB 3 route, same video option. So subscribe, give me some comments and tell me if you want me to do that. Thanks very much for watching.